Oh, I see, like, oh, yes, well, perhaps not. I'll leave that for another time. These are all the gun toys. Some of them I have in my collection, which are all party stuff, really. For instance, this is a charming little idea which throws a party streamer out, but it looks like a gun. When you pull the trigger, this flips out. The anchor at the top end holds this streamer, and then when you do it, it goes, woo! Wow, that's pretty, isn't it? This one is a very nice little toy. Again, it looks like a gun, but it's got a spinning top on it. And when we pull the trigger and wind it up a few turns, not many, it doesn't need, about that much there. Now if we pull it on the table, it'll drop the top and go, and the top will spin beautifully. What a lovely idea. Very, very clever stuff. This is a wacky Japanese one. It's a kind of lazy tongs action, and it's got a little battery inside it which makes a funny noise. When you pull the trigger, oh, it's making a funny sound too. I can't know what it is. So, oh, it bopped me on the nose. Don't know what the Japanese means though. Yes, anyway, it certainly got me, didn't it? Charming thing. There's an extraordinary Japanese one here which is telescopic. It's quite a large barrel, in fact. But when I aim it forwards, well, yes, pull the trigger and wow, that's a beautiful long rifle. Look at that, about a foot and a half long. The fly swat was first invented, I think, by George Costanez, who I see at New York every year, about 40 years ago. It's got a fly swat on it, and when you pull the trigger, there's a strong spring inside, and if we had a fly here on the back, I'd pull the trigger and it'd go whack. Beautiful. And then to reload it, you merely push the thing in and it's reloaded. And pull the trigger and whack. It did a nice development of it many years later, which is this one here. It's exactly the same mechanism underneath, but it's got a little ball on it, which is rather sweet. A little soft sponge ball pops out. Very sweet. And very easy and easy to manipulate. Pop. And then another go to fly swat, quite different to the other ones, was this one here, which actually works very well. You pull the trigger, you've got a target there, it's upside down actually, but the idea is to get the fly in the very middle of the target, and when that happens, you hold it very still, and when you pull the trigger, it goes whap. Hopefully a squash fly is right in the middle of the bullseye. Yes. A strange Japanese toy came out about 20 years ago. The idea is to try and work on your trigger finger and make it, and you have two people standing opposite each other and both pulling the trigger as fast as they can, and as they do so, the ball is pushed one way or the other, and depending on who's winning, they'll get it into their opponent's half. But that's the break-even point there, and then pull hard and see who wins the game. A kind of tug-of-war race. Very strange, but very Japanesey. Here's a very strange idea. It's a wacky top from an American magician. When you pull the trigger, something quite extraordinary happens. It propels like a propeller. Extraordinary idea. The barrels half come off, there's an elastic band down the middle, and it revolves round. Wonderful little one-line gag. I love those things. And here's the oldest gag I've ever had in my collection from about 50 years ago. When you pull the trigger, it does something very nice. Bang! You have to make the noise yourself because it won't make a noise on its own. So these are very nice little, mostly party guns, pistols, rifles, for having fun at parties. What do you think?